we have 224 science that I feel like spending. So I'm going to spend it. I think I will continue working on some of this aerodynamics. Kaboom. Leaving me with 64 science. And we'll spend the 158,500 funds to grab all of these parts, which give us a lot of capabilities for some space plane type things that we can use to really move some crew around. So yeah, that's it. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 6 of Let's Play Kerbal Space Program Season 2, Duna, or Bust. Resume our saved here. This is the Ike Lander. It is going to be a lander can. And of course it's going to need some science on top. Fuel tanks. That was too big. Well, maybe not. Seems too big. This one seems so small, though. That's alright. And some landing gears. And we run the standard calculation for delta V. Calculator. Let's see how this thing this thing has for delta V. This is for Ike. It's not for Duna, so I don't need to worry about any of that other stuff. 2.6. Divided by 1.6. 1 point is 1.625. Take the natural log of that, multiply that by 9.8. And the ISP of this engine, which I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's right there, 345. And I get 1,641 ISP for this little guy. We don't need nearly that much. I could probably get away with just this guy. And if I need to, I can add a little here and there. Utility landing gear. Okay, let's run it again. This time 2.1 divided by 1.6 natural log times 9.8 times 345, right? 345? Yes, 345. 919 delta V. If I add some fuel tank here. Let's see, this thing is going to be staged in somehow. Do I want it staged in or docked? Well, we'll figure that out later. This is the Ike Lander. Okay. A little bit more fuel is what I want in this thing. What do I have as far as monopropellant? 27, how much does this hold? 45, oh, one of these would be great. That'd be more than enough. Boop. And it barely adds any to the profile. Okay, now let's get this thing fully loaded with everything it needs, and then make absolutely certain that that it's going to be fine. A couple of solar panels, a ladder, or I'm sorry, mobility enhancer. Extend it. Not quite long enough, almost. It's saying parachute missing. Well, this thing doesn't need a parachute. But it does need some science stuff. Give it an antenna with which to transmit. It's got that. I need to figure out how these things work. Maybe I'll do another special feature mission for that around Kerbal. Sounds like a useful thing. Natural resource scanning is something we'll be doing at a different time. That's the lander right there. Now the question is, do I want a docking port up here or just regular staging? But now that we have our true total mass, let's go ahead and double check our numbers here. Make sure things are looking good. 2.5 divided by 1.7 natural log times 9.8 times 345. Still has 1300 delta V, which is more than enough. Whoa. More than enough for Ike, according to my chart. As just a lander. Down and up. Heck, this thing could set down on Duna. Or ascend from Duna if it had fully, you know, didn't need to use any fuel in descent whatsoever. So, yeah, that's this guy. Now we need to build the next thing, which is going to be the mothership this is attached to, or at least modify the existing mothership. So, yeah. Okay, so we're working on a new craft. This is the mothership for Duna. So, Duna flyby. Let's start with this. This is the Duna flyby. We are going to be... This thing needs a redesign. I'm going to throw this whole thing into a subassembly. Duna lifter. Save. Okay. Now. We're going to have... to do some crazy crap. This ship no longer needs hardly any of this, really. We literally might be able to get away with something like this. Return trip from Duna's orbit. That's all we're talking about here. Or even... we sort of need to build this in a modular ship. Duna Orbit Mission 2. So, gosh. I need to think about this a little bit. I need the heavy lifter, got all that. I need an engine cluster. Maybe a nuclear engine or two to push us up and out to Duna. Now that we have them, right there. The thing about nuclear engines is that they only use liquid fuel. Which makes for a much lighter stage for that. What's their thrust? 13? So they have... oh, they have the same thrust as this thing did. Oh, wow. So we were using this and doing just fine. Once we started, you know, doing Duna's orbital stuff. And that was after that big booster stage kicked us. Pretty much there. This is essentially going to be the return vehicle. Probably don't even need two parachutes, or that many parachutes. That many parachutes is probably enough. As this drains, the center of mass will move that way. If we even use all that fuel. So this is going to be... it's going to serve two purposes. It assists with the aero brake while we're entering Duna, so we're going to have a lander attached down here. Don't need that. I wonder if I can load this Ike-lander as a merge vessel. Nope. Probably because I need to reset the root part. Doop, doop. Go, save that. Load up Duna Orbit Mission 2. Load up Ike Lander, merge. Fail. The merge totally failed. That's okay, that's what sub-assemblies are for. Save. So continue. Do an orbit mission 2. Grab the Ike Lander. Stick it right there. So this is all return stage. I'm really not sure that I need to do anything more special than something like this. I might not even need that nuclear engine. I'm really thinking about how I want to do this. We know we need this stage to push for Duna. Let's ask it this way. I still need a stage that's capable of doing some orbital maneuvers around Duna. I know that I need that. Um, 305, that's pretty terrible. And we don't need that much thrust. What would happen if I just made this a bigger stage? Alternately, I can make a stage that's specifically suited for the push to Duna. This is kind of a cool looking design though. Engines. Nuclear. Well, if I'm going to do that, I don't need the oxidizer. Those are just fuel intakes. Fuel tanks. What do I have in the way of adapters? And nothing standing out saying that's looking awesome. Take the oxidizer out. Stick that in there. Just around. I think what we need to do instead... Oh, what's this thing's center of mass now? Center of mass is behind that, so these things would act as drag, which is exactly what I want, actually. See, the problem is we can't have this heating up. So we need a fairing to protect it during reentry or during aero capture. Or we can just skip aero capture. We can make sure we have enough fuel that we don't have to do an aero capture. And this would therefore just be for slowing down during atmospheric entry on the return trip to Kerbal. Okay, I can go with that. Get rid of all this oxidizer. These do not need to be pitch and yaw controls, that's for sure. Okay, one nuclear engine coming up. That is a whole lot of ship for this nuclear engine to push, but that is okay. Structural. One of these guys. Attach that. That thing is long. You know, we're probably going to want to assemble this. This thing's gotten so long. That wouldn't be useful. This almost needs to be assembled in orbit. I'm not going to save this. Don't save. I want Duna flyby or Duna orbit mission 2. This is after me. Okay, load Duna flyby. Everything up to this stage is fine, except for the fact that I don't need all that science. Solar panels, transmission gear for the thing, recovery. The science experiments are all on the science/landing module. Go to the subassemblies. Grab our Ike lander. Put it right there. It's our center of mass. So that still gives us a valid arrow break. But we don't have any maneuvering on this end of the deal. Oh, I know. I know what I was going to do. Get rid of this. Stick this up here. Boop, like that. Engines. Wish we had some of these that were more efficient. But we don't. See, that 345, that makes such a huge difference in Delta V. Pain in my butt. Alright, we gotta do this. We gotta do oxidizer only. Structural. I'm sorry, utility. A docking port. That's the junior. Structural. Wait. This needs to be one of these ones. No, one of stack separator. Another utility docking port, like so. Which means this is going to need some modern propellant to dock with its engine cluster. This also has some modern pop in it. Okay, now engines. Or I should say command and control. So there's a way to get away with using only 8 sort of only 8 thrusters. If you set it up right. And I will show you what that is. It's not the most efficient use in the world, but not offset, rotate. Rotate them that way, and rotate them that way. Basically what that does is it gives you forward, back, left, right, up, down, rotation controls all in one. And it only takes 8 thrusters to do so. 1, 2, 3. Ish. Yep. 1, 2, 3. Maybe 2. One, two, three. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. These need to be aiming more that way and more this way. This way one and this way one. This way one and this way one. Yeah, that'll work pretty good. We should have some rotation all around. Up, down, left, right. Okay. Connect that guy. Delete this fairing. Connect this guy. What just happened? See, I'm okay with that. Darn it, I need X. Zooming in here. Well, this fairing is a little bit rough. Out a little bit. Ding. 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 Done. There it is. Our new Duna mission. Including the lander. This is no longer Duna flyby. This is Duna. Ike Mission 1. Crew people. Don't need 2 pilots. But we do need a scientist. Alright. Now I need to go through all my staging. All that's good. Those are separating in the correct order. I can always add more fuel to that if I need to. I'm going to add this as its own stage. And this decouples, and we pull it out. Get it parked, go reattach. This thing has a little bit of monopropellant, so we might as well give it the ability to dock and stuff. Science, grab a little transmission antenna, stick it up here. And control. I can't remember if those are 1x6s or not. Utility. Put these up here out of the way. Of these things. And that should give this thing the ability to dock by itself if needed. In fact, we will go ahead and put in a docking port there instead of the other thing. And then what can happen is it can just dock onto here, do its thing, liquid fuel oxidizer. Oh yeah, kind of forgot the whole booster part. This thing has gotten so long because of this. Do I need that much? Yeah, I don't like that visual style. We need struts. From here to there. Delete that fairing again. Oh man, there it is. The tallest thing we've ever built. That is a tall rocket. If this launch gets unruly, we're probably going to need to assemble this thing in space. What I might do, rather than having those weak little guys, is put in some serious delta wings here. But I can't. because they're going to interfere with the fuel lines. Oh, no, they won't. Yes, they will. They will interfere right there. Well, we'll have to see how this works. It's very tall. I think I might need bigger rockets. I do have bigger engines, don't I? Do I have a bigger engine? What's my biggest engine? The mainsail. This is what I'm using right now. So the only thing we've added really is 2.7 tons. We've added some length. Maybe a total of 10 tons added because of this nuclear engine. But that was really it. That disconnects from that. We can connect to that. There's a little modular design. Alright. Empty crew cabin. That's fine. Hatch obstructed. Oh, yes. I do remember that being an issue. And we shouldn't need that many parachutes anymore. You know, 2 should be enough. We got a parachute on an empty on an engine stage. Don't want that. Electric charge, but storage lacking. No oxidizer. No oxidizer. No oxidizer. That's for landing. Okay. Checking our staging now. I need a decoupler right here. All right. I think that's it for the build. We're going to launch this thing towards Duna and Ike in episode 6. So wish us luck.